Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on this episode, back there if you can see it, is a Passat, right? I always forget because it's a couple of days since I've looked at them. I came over here a couple of days ago and diagnosed the Passat. It had a coolant leak. They said it was coming from the block and thought that maybe it was like the head gasket or totaled or something like that. And they just wanted to diagnose this before they sent it to the junkyard. Well, I came and looked at it, and it was just the oil cooler. The oil filter housing has a cooler built into it. That whole assembly was leaking, so I've got a new one of those, a new gasket, stuff for an oil change, and coolant replacement. I'm waiting about 10 minutes for the vehicle owner to get here to hand me the keys. And while I fix this, I'm going to talk about the top things I wish I knew before I became a mechanic. And starting with number one, you don't need a huge education in order to be a mechanic. Most places just want you to have a high school degree. You can go to technical schools or get some degrees in mechanics as well, but some shops will take you on just as an apprentice. This video is sponsored by Maxoak. This is a Maxoak level 1 EV charger. Let's pull it out of the box and see what we got. Alright, so here it is unboxed. It has 23 feet of cable, so it's really heavy. Obviously that's going to give you plenty of distance to reach your car, however you want to park it in your garage. This is something you'll mount in your garage and wire straight up to your electricity. Let's get this mounting plate set up and I'll show you what it looks like. Now you have an easy way to mount this like this. So check out the link in the description if you want a Maxoak level 1 EV charger. This one's an awesome deal thanks to Maxoak. Back to the video. This is gonna be great. Look at this tree. It's gonna be a good day. I brought my fan too, so it's not even probably 80 degrees today already. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, a little bit before then. That's another thing I wish I knew. That's another thing you want to know before you become a mechanic, is knowing that being a mechanic's a pretty physically demanding job. Even if you work in a shop, that doesn't mean you're going to have AC. But hey, you might not even work in a shop like me. Alright, so here's our culprit right there. That little rectangular piece. This right here. You can see the leak better from the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and jack it up because I need to drain the oil and coolant anyways. And I'll show you better. That was probably bird poop. Okay. Double check everything. I'll double check. I'll show you guys. Here's coolant dripping down from the front. If you follow it up, I pressurized it the other day too when I tested it. There's that cooler right there. It's coming from there. It's not coming from above it, so it's coming from there. We have to remove this inner cooler and some stuff above it to get to it, so it should be a couple hours. Coolant, tank here, jug, oil. Let's drain the fluids. All right, here I've just gotten the little Torx bolts out of the fan here. I'm gonna take that out so I've got a little more room. Oops, wasn't quite ready to do it, but I'm going for it now. Set this down. And that brings me to the next point I wish I knew before I became a mechanic. It's pretty much all tools are created equally. Don't listen to the Snap-on fanboys or the Snap-on guy that comes to your school or shop. Get your pliers from O'Reilly's or AutoZone or wherever. Harbor Freight, save yourself some money, and if they ever break, it's got a lifetime warranty there anyways. I ain't saying you're never gonna break a tool, but you break Snap-on tools too. OEM tools, get these on Amazon, at AutoZone, wherever. This is a great brand. Pretty much every tool I've gotten that's supposed to do a job has done the job it was supposed to do. Don't listen to the guys that say you need to pay $200 for a wrench. That's just stupid. Dumb hose clamps, this kind. Pretty crazy because they like grab onto the hose at the same time. You can see the little grappling hook on the back there. That brings me to the next thing I was thinking of when it comes to being a mechanic is there's not many people looking out for mechanics. A lot of people take advantage of mechanics. Might be the people you're working with, or might be the person you're working for. And not everybody's a bad person, but just like all tools are created equal, not all people are created equal. So you have to have your own back in every situation and just make sure you're not getting taken advantage of. And that brings me to my next point. Being slow and careful is way better than being fast. Look, I'm taking this sensor off. It's super gummed up, so that's how I had to knock it down. It'll probably come off now. But when I was younger, dude, I broke so many things. Just being fat, like quick and careless, trying to get stuff done quickly. And then having to go back and fix stripped out bolts or whatever it was. Broken connectors. If you can just relax a little and take time to think whenever something's a little stuck, you'll save yourself a ton of headache. Slow is good. Alright, that intercooler had like 10 hoses on it. I'll show you in a second. Here's this. That's the bolt right there, so it's just gummed up. I think, no, maybe I'm wrong. No, it's behind that. Oh, that has a hose on it too. So many hoses. Is that an E-torque folded in there? We'll find out. Seven. All right, well, what I said was E-torques and what I meant was triple square. It is a triple square. I didn't bring those sockets with me. So a quick run across town to grab those, and I'll be right back. It's tough when you're a mobile mechanic because there's always one little thing you forget. So nowadays, I don't even get frustrated. I just try and plan on, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to run grab one thing a day from somewhere. I bet that's what it feels like being a new mechanic as well, always having to borrow tools from somebody else if you work in a shop. I just grew up using my dad's tools till I had my own. And then when I was working by myself, I just had to buy a tool if I needed it. Honestly though, if you're like a mobile mechanic or working by yourself, loaner tool programs are excellent for that. You can just buy the tool and then return it and they'll give you the money back at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, wherever. But yeah, I mean, you can borrow tools from somebody. They say if you need to borrow a tool more than twice, then you need to just buy it yourself. But if you can do a job with the tool twice, then it'll pay for itself. All right, let's go grab those sockets. Okay, apparently I didn't have a size 8 triple square, so I went to AutoZone, then Harbor Freight, and finally O'Reilly's. Luckily they had it. I don't know what I would have done because Ace Hardware was like the only other place. Home Depot maybe, but I didn't want to run around for another hour. I think it's been like almost an hour already. Let's get back over there. That's why I bring all my tools with me. It's a hassle, but I don't know how long I'm gonna be gone. All right, I've got the 2 easy ones out. Now to get the 2 harder ones and that hose that's right there attached to that, I think. I'm gonna get the hose last though, that'll probably be easiest. Okay, now I've just got to get this cleaned up. You can see where it was leaking there. Alright, there you can see the gasket totally slipped out of place. And here you can see why. The plastic behind it's completely broken. Alright, I've got the area all cleaned up, just ready for that new one to go back in. Make sure that gasket surface is clean. Alright, everything except the fans are in. I'm going to go ahead and pressure test the system just to make sure it's not leaking. While I put those fans on, I already got it a little warm and a bunch of bubbles came up, so I think I got all the air out. Alright, I've got that right on 10 psi. The water went down about that much, and it took probably about 5 more pumps than usual, so I know there's still some air in the system somewhere, but not much. Hey, we got this car fixed and back on the road. The owner was afraid that they were going to have to send it to the junkyard and thought that maybe they had a head gasket issue, but I got this car taken care of in half of a day, and they were able to move out of their apartment the same day. So it worked out great. That was truly a roadside rescue. If you like what I do, make sure you're subscribed and check out this video next. I'll see you there.